Call to order this regular council meeting of the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan, this first day of February 2023 at 7:02 p.m. I'll do the roll call. Councillor Banks.
Yes.
Councillor Coppell. Here. Councillor Keller.
Here.
Councillor Quad.
Present.
All council is present. We have a resolution that reads that the council of the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan adopt the agenda as submitted. Could I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Banks, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any discussion on that motion?
No.
Could I call for the vote? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest that anyone can see on the agenda?
Not by me at this time.
None declared. Delegations and presentations from the Community Resource Center. We have Bill Smith and Jennifer Bennett Pond. I'd like to welcome you to our meeting,
Thank you.
and we'll let you share what's on your mind.
I'll take it away and then Jen will follow up after. Thank you for having me here. I thought it's beginning of council term. It was a good opportunity to come out and make sure that we're all on the same page. So Community Resource Center, we offer a fair number of programs out here in BLR. We have our Toy Bus program that comes out regularly, weekly. We have our Game On after school sport and recreation program, and we have our Senior Active Living Center. Our concept at the Community Resource Center is that small towns and municipalities do not have the resources. You don't have the staff and you don't have the tax base to be able to mount those quality kinds of programs for your residents. And so that's what we do. We take them mobile through, we're probably in about 13 different communities every week with some kind of program. So that's what we do. That's our specialty. All of the programs, tonight we're here to talk about Senior Active Living Center, but I'll just give you a bit of the background. All of our programs have different kinds of funding models. So our oldest program, the Toy Bus, so that's Toy Bus Early On, that's fully funded, about half of it by the federal government, Public Health Agency of Canada, and half of it through the municipal or through the counties, with provincial dollars that are given to the counties. So that's that program, and that's a great program, and that's been going for 30+ years. Our Game On program, it's a bit of a ragtag funding model where we put about 5 or 6 different pots of money together. We have a Trillium Foundation grant, support from Jumpstart, support from United Way, support from Hydro One Foundation this year gave us a grant. We put all of those pots of money together, and then we're able to run programs. And then the Senior Active Living Center, that's a different program and a different funding model. So it's funded provincially, and the province has said that they will fund up to 80% of the program, and the community needs to fund the rest of the program. So in our case, the money that we receive from the province to run that program is $42,700. That's what it's always been, and it always will be that amount, I believe. And then, so what that means is that we need to come up with about $11,000 of both in-kind and financial contributions. It could all be in-kind, it could all be financial contributions. What we've done, we offer it here and in KHR, and so we count as in-kind contributions the space that you give us at the arena to run the program. So we've come up with a calculation. I don't remember what it is anymore, but we worked it out 5 or 6 years ago when we started this program. The advertising that we get in the KHR newsletter, we were able to quantify that. And those types of things, we could say that you plow the parking lot so that we can get in, or they can cut the lawn so that we can run the program. Those are the kinds of in-kind expenses. We also need cash. We're always looking for more money. Everyone's always looking for more money. Last year, we were very fortunate that both KHR and BLR townships were able to contribute cash, and that enabled us to put on more programs. So out here in BLR, I believe you gave us $4,400 in cash. That's the first time that we received a cash contribution. And that was excellent, and that enabled us to put on the monthly lunches and the senior fitness and, you know, it added to the whole pot and helped us do that. For sure, Jen's gonna get into a little bit more detail later on, about what we actually do. The other thing where we can raise money, and I believe that Jennifer's spoken with you about this already, is that there's an opportunity to apply for a senior community grant. We'll apply for a senior community grant for additional programming in KHR. We did a couple of years ago, we applied, the township of South Algonquin, where we provide service. They applied for a senior community grant and they contracted us to provide the service. So that's an interesting way that you could potentially increase services to your seniors and older adults here by applying for a senior community grant. And if you wanted, you could contract us to provide that service, or you could do it on your own, just highlighting that possibility. The one thing about the senior community grants is that you apply at the beginning of the year and you never know when the government's going to tell you how much it is. This year, they told us in November. The year before that, they didn't tell us until January, and you have to have the money spent by the end of March. Yeah, so it's not you can go in.
Is it federal or provincial?
That's provincial, Minister of Seniors and Accessibility, Senior Affairs and Accessibility. So that's a possibility. It's not the all and end all, but it is that. And of course, we're not coming to you and telling you that you have to give us financial contribution. We're very pleased that we have the space and we can pull it off. But I wanted to just let you know, our hands are up.
And we thank you for providing what you do for us. It's much appreciated.
Yeah,
It is.
yeah. Jen, why don't you talk a little bit about?
Just before you go ahead, on the line, do you typically see the same kind of money from the province every year?
The 42.7, that's the max amount, and yes, we do.
So,
get that.
yeah, so even though they don't tell you, year over year, you kind of plan for around that kind of money.
No, so that's a senior active living grant, the senior community grant, the one that I was talking about where you apply. Every year you can apply for whatever you want, up to $25,000, I believe it is. They'll either grant it or they won't grant it.
So it's either yes or no, and there's no in between.
It's yes or no, and there's no. in between.
All right.
Yeah. There is another pot of money as well. I should mention that. There's special grant, that's what we call it, the senior active living special grant that we apply for. And that's a little bonkers as well, or bananas. Do we use the word bonkers or bananas? It's every year we get to apply for up to $15,000 of things. So we use that money to train our senior fitness instructors, to do bus trips, to do all
part of the application.
It's part of the application. We apply for $15,000 and then they don't tell us until January and 3 months. And it's never the 15,000 that we get.
It's just some lot.
Typically around 6 or.
That's however much money's left over, and they're just gonna pass it to the different.
Absolutely. So it's a bit of a ragtag mix of funding and it comes in different times and you go off magic.
Yeah.
That's what we like to do, so.
You said you needed around $11,000 on top of what you got for grant money to effectively run the program. Is that between BLR and KHR, or is that each?
Between GLR and KHR, and that includes the income. Yeah. Okay, so what do we do with it?
Yeah, so. Yeah, heard of the senior monthly lunch. It's been happening for a good long time now, and in addition, we've been able to since, well, I guess last year, like with the pandemic easing a little bit, we're able to get back to more in-person activities. And so every Tuesday, we're doing something over there. So as it seems to be going from the summer till now, the time frame of 10 till 1-ish seems to be the sweet spot for the weeks when it's not a lunch, monthly lunch. So we have a fitness class happening from 10 to 11. Before that, we have the hand quilters. Ellen Muskell and her group are doing the quilting. And then after fitness, we have the internet cafe, which is just provide an opportunity for people to check their email and print something out in black and white. And then, or access the internet, sorry. I also do have tea and coffee available and sometimes more snacks as well. And then at the same time, we have the mini gym access now again, which is great, and we have a key for that. And there's other things. Sorry, games have just started as well. So folks are playing bridge, crokinole, happening at also from 11 till 1-ish. And the quilters usually quilt up till 1 as well. And then once a month, we always aiming for the last Tuesday of the month for the big lunch. So that's reaching 70 to 100 seniors, depending on our financial, and it engages, I'd say, up to 10 senior volunteers. And we do have 3, in addition to myself leading the fitness, we have 3 trained fitness instructors in this area. Norma Woods, and she's the one who's been mostly involved. And she's had, different things going on. Everybody's got different things going on, but she's been able to come back into the mix lately. And then Pamela Reed and Jennifer Lee has also have the training, but their schedules just don't really allow at the moment for them to lead. And yeah, we're just always trying to offer support and resources in the mobile fashion that the Community Resource Center works with all of its programming. So I try to bring as much as I can, and if I can't offer somebody help, in the moment, I try to connect them either afterward or just to help make those things happen. I'm always trying to bring speakers to the lunches. We had the hospice, Madawaska Valley Hospice came and spoke. Was that just yesterday? Why is it passing to be trained? So, yes.
Yeah.
I know there's lots of different things to say, but I'm happy that we've been able to sustain, and the seniors seem very engaged, and I think even more seniors are coming up that I haven't met before, and whether that means that people have moved here or people are looking to engage socially.
And what tells me that this is a success is that we have a bunch of people, probably about 10 people who are helping to volunteer, or who are volunteering to help out to do these.
They're actively involved.
Actively involved. So putting on this lunch this week, Jen and a group of volunteers went there and cooked did the whole lunch right there, made the soup, made the sandwiches, served it all, cleaned up afterwards. So
Yeah.
that's volunteer.
How do you do the kind of internet cafe, the pop-up, and how do you pull that up? You bring all the hardware?
Yeah, so we have a public use laptop that I bring,
One?
just one, right at the moment. We start this way. I also have a wonderful tool chest that has wheels that I bring the printer in on as
Like
well.
one of
Like
those
a black and white, yeah,
but I mean, a steel case
Yeah.
yes, that's
with
right,
all the phone inside.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
You have need for more stuff like that, or? Or you're good?
we could probably use like another laptop or something, because it's often that people are waiting. So like someone will check their Facebook and stuff, and it takes a while. And then somebody else likes to watch like Grand Prix races and things, so.
Well, I
agree with
Have any taken around here that aren't used?
I was gonna say, who puts this software and stuff on board?
No.
And then a couple of months ago, the company just got better, all their laptops, being it's all new ones.
We thought that they were not.
Perfect. Okay, any questions of us at all?
I have a question.
Yes.
I had someone ask me why there's no takeout seniors luncheon.
It's not that there isn't one and not anymore, it's, we decided to go with the in-person for this lunch. We didn't have funds to pay for catering for this
Okay.
lunch. The catering costs with Kim, who we were using, have gone up to $15 per person. And we're trying to reach, you know, where, you know, the max that, we actually have gone over 100, but we're always trying to, our max is from 100, right, in our vision, which is about $1,700 a lunch, so. But it's also, we wanted to see as well if there are more and more people coming to eat in person. And we wanted to see if, like what the response would be to not have the takeout. It is difficult for me when I don't have
Yeah.
another staff or a caterer to do those different roles.
Yeah.
It was also, it's challenging to do the lunch ourselves and do the other roles, because if I'm in the kitchen doing the lunch, then I can't engage with seniors and the same thing. There's a sort of a lost opportunity there.
Okay, that's.
No, that's.
You just evaluate one of those, signature roles that's designed for your laptops.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
Community Living donated a printer to us, and we had it taken over to the arena for your use.
Oh, cool.
Sorry, is that what?
Community Living donated a printer,
Oh,
so
okay,
it's at the arena for your
Oh,
use.
great, okay,
Saving years back.
okay.
Oh, cool.
So the new seniors community grant to increase services for seniors. You had asked if we wish we could have you do that. And what would you anticipate an increase in service would be, like an example, how that would benefit the seniors
In our.
in our area?
Well, for one thing that comes to mind is perhaps doing a lunch in Quadville.
Okay.
Or doing a lunch, I mean, I don't know, it'd be hard to write a lane shoot, but just because the geography is so wide.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that was, I think that came to mind, was to at least try.
Yeah.
Maybe something there.
Different ways to get more money into the pot.
Yeah.
So that we can-
Well, absolutely, right? So, yeah.
We can only apply for one, so if we apply for one in KHR, if you did apply for one here, then we could extend it here.
Okay.
Is that the one I sent you?
Yeah, Jen and I met last week about it, and we're gonna
Okay.
touch base again next week, and
Yeah.
And I, just to go back to the lunches too, if it's, because it has come, like, what my observation is that some folks are having challenges coming back to in person, whether that's that they have health situations or mobility issues, or maybe they have social anxiety, but so it would be good to perhaps have some feedback about that, like how does the township wish to approach that? Do we want to have a bit of an outreach in a different way? So there's that kind of, it's not that it's not happening. I know that's the perception of people in the community, but it's like, what is the priority, and what do you want to prioritize, I guess, and how? There's still outreach that's kind of going on, like behind in the underground, like a lot of people were still taking food away and taking some food to some people that they know could use it. But it's like, yeah,
There is, I know the one person that was mentioned to me can't drive, so
Yeah.
someone else would take her.
that's right, yeah.
So how do you deal with that?
Yeah.
And I know another couple where he was taking treatments and they
Yes.
aren't going out
Exactly,
into the public,
that's
so,
right, yeah.
you know, like.
We strive to do it.
Yeah.
And if we have, if we have the right people in place and the right money for budget in place, then we can do that.
Yeah, and if we decide on an approach we want to take, like I know there's people who have and will deliver food to people.
Yeah.
Like I know there's people who volunteer to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe you can have a volunteer that could actually make it up and deliver it.
yeah. Any other questions? I know what it's like to have people talk on too long. So I'm not trying to.
Well, again, thank you very much. Your service you provide to us, like we said, is very, very much appreciated and we do have good participation.
Yeah,
Good,
great.
it's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's very good. Have a good meeting.
We go to the adoption minutes. That we, the council, of the township of Greenbelt and Dalton Raglan hereby adopt the minutes of the regular council meeting of January 4th, 2023. Special council meeting of January 13th, 2023, and the special council meeting of January 24th, 2023 as presented. Could I get a mover for that, please?
I could move that.
Councillor Claude, seconded by Councillor Banks. Any discussion? No. Could I call for the vote? All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion is carried. Reports on direction received. We have an information package from Nelson Granite regarding column variance.
If I may.
Yes.
Just so I reached out and gathered this information package for them, and they are willing to come to do a delegation at next regular council meeting. They just want direction as to maybe which one or what size of one that you would like more information about, so we can narrow down a delegation to fit within our time. So if you have any ideas, if you've seen anything through it, or if there's any specific questions.
Well, we've seen all the sidelines, but just, prices.
Okay, so he asked me because it's going on a public one to redact the price list. I can provide that to you after, but they didn't want that provided.
Okay.
So to me, it's really hard to say at this point if we don't know the price or cost of it. So I mean, how do you determine what size?
Well, I guess the thing is though too, if you get one
You saw this.
and see how it's going to be received and how it's going to be used.
But first we have to have a place to put it.
This is true.
I mean, before you proceed, it's.
Want to,
Right?
yeah, we have to decide whether we want to do it and then we'll have to find a spot for it.
Yeah, to find a home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So there is a price list there,
Yeah, I thought I seen one in there.
and if you roll up to the first page there, Jordan, it shows you a breakdown on your expense and potential profit based on what you're selling your niches for.
okay. So kind of like you put out the money and then we sell the units and you kind of recover your costs.
That's right.
It's like buying a plot, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
You're just getting the money back that way. There's
yeah,
no rental after you, it's just a one-time purchase.
yeah.
Exactly. And I guess the philosophy is that, what it costs versus what you can charge for your niches helps you with your costs and maintaining.
Yeah.
I see the benefits of them. I mean, I've cut black grass and the graveyard and there's a lot of work around doing so,
Oh, yeah.
and the flowers and everything else, and I can see that it would be a benefit. But
When I spoke with him on the phone, that was the purpose of making a little bit of money to help cover your cost of maintenance of the area.
I was really surprised in the presentation, and in the back it was what percent of people are going to cremation.
Yeah,
Well, it's
Yeah.
really went up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, I guess it's because of cost versus
Oh, yeah.
burial rate.
and there's no places like to bury people in the city that.
No.
Like,
Well,
so I mean, these are really like save a lot of
Yeah.
space.
last night we had meeting at the church there about our bylaws for the cemetery, but they say they're trying to get rid of those, what do you call it, cement?
Concrete vaults.
Yeah,
Like a mausoleum.
concrete vaults, because they take up too much room.
Friend of
So
mine,
sorry,
a friend of mine ran into a situation where he had a relative buried in Quebec, and there's kind of a lease on your plot, right? You have to have her exhumed and moved.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a 99-year lease. Yeah, you have to bring her to Ottawa, it cost a month to get one, make 30 or 40 grand.
So,
well, our issue is the location.
that's right.
Yeah,
Gotta find a home.
Like, you ask the churches, like, they're expensive, like, that's what they are said, are we gonna put the cost of it for it?
so what
You
if
know?
we said like 48? 48 it seems to be the smallest one, and that's, you know, like, see what happens with it.
But like I say, where are we gonna put it?
well, we do have, two sites, I guess, that we could go to. There's one on Shannon Road that we talked about. and
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
one.
yeah,
up-
Linda.
But
Linda.
another thing, are we in the business for burials?
Well, we own the cemeteries once they're.
Yeah.
They're yours, so they're
I
legally-
mean, it's in law that once they're abandoned or nobody got that, or if the church goes to fund, they become the municipalities.
Oh,
I mean, sadly, we could, and the municipality could end up with a lot more than what we have now.
And we must have a report that's gotta be done by the end of March. Cemeteries, yeah. Because we do reports yearly.
Go into
to
the province, right?
cemeteries.
Oh, there's only one cemetery at the moment that I can think of, and that's the one there in Wolf. Is that not? Oh, no, you said there's one on.
On Chimneys
on
Road.
Chimneys Road.
And actually, one we've talked about is Blue Iron.
Oh, is there?
And we also do the reporting for the one up on, Memorials.
Where is that? Oh, is that right?
Okay.
So they don't report, township does.
Before the rest,
Well,
and the one in Quad.
Oh, that one,
Which one?
Lutheran?
The Lutheran one?
So, okay, so.
So there's about 4 or 5 cemeteries there.
Yeah, but I guess we have to find out really, I mean.
So what do you mean reporting? So we don't maintain those ones.
We don't maintain them, but we have to report if there was any plots sold,
yeah.
if anyone was buried. Do they ask about cremation?
Yeah, they have to go cremation,
Yeah.
after the mission.
Yeah.
How much do they going into the maintenance repair fund?
There has to be a certain amount of money, right? In
Right.
trust, but
So I don't know how that would work if we wanted to put something in one of those cemeteries, but I mean, it's something we can find out.
Would have to be, it would go through.
Yeah, so, I mean, would we be interested in the 48 size or bigger, or?
I guess they're like building blocks, so you can start.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can add on.
Yeah, they're like building blocks, so
be the smallest one first.
start with something, yeah,
Yeah, manageable.
Yeah.
So it's-
and see how it runs.
Yeah,
And then look for a home that, you know, that was,
yeah,
that was a good place to put it, not.
So a 48-inch would house 96.
Yeah.
okay, so what on the side?
Two per minute.
Oh, sorry, yes, yeah.
So when you buy your niche or whatever, there's someone else can actually buy the same one and put somebody different in. with
I
it,
don't
or do
think
you
you end up
want
with
to-
two different.
I don't think so.
So, yeah,
One.
Yeah, I understood it held too, but I was thinking,
Yeah,
okay, hold on, you sell it twice?
yeah.
Or you only sell it once?
I think it's, if you were to buy it. you can put
Put two birds,
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so that's. Yeah.
and they're nice looking,
Yeah,
they're not an eyesore, no, by any stretch of the imagination.
no, they are very pretty.
So in the
I shouldn't say
meantime,
pretty.
should we check with, like, Is there direction for somebody to go see or check out the one on Shimon's Road or?
No.
Yeah, I-
You kind of gotta wait until this.
Yeah, and you could say, yeah, wait till the snow goes.
I know the one on Shimon's Road is on private property.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And that could be fixed.
yeah.
So,
And there's probably room for something like that, out in, at the one that not by the road.
But parking would be an issue,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think.
I
On
don't know who would have, I would think maybe Geraldine Field would have the details on that one up there because she did look after it.
yeah, okay.
At one point, so it might be, yeah. I can. Yeah.
Was it the township that time, and I'm going back a lot of years, that cleaned it up when it was so kind of good and ran over?
No, that was, Geraldine Field.
Okay, that's,
Field.
they tidied up. I remember when it was kind of getting overran, and
Yeah,
then it was all tidied up, and now it's maintained and looked after, but that's a lot of years ago.
yeah, and now we can,
Yeah, just would say the township is after.
okay. Okay, correspondence. 6.2. Oh, sorry. Keep me on the straight and narrow. Okay, we have the list of governing bylaws to be updated or reviewed, and we have a staff report on that. The resolution says the Council of Corporation, the Township of Brunel, Lindop, and Raglan accept this report and further direct staff to proceed with updating, reviewing the bylaws as presented. Could I get a mover for that? Councilor Keller, seconded by Councilor Banks. Any discussion? We have a list there.
Possibly more discussion for the updates.
Yeah, and I think a lot of these that we're gonna have to probably look at a law enforcement officer to be able to enforce them.
Is there any of the bylaws on that list that council would deem as being, top priority to get something on the go right away, or just kind of as we go through them, or?
Our integrity commissioner bylaw, is there is there a term on it?
There is,
And what's the term?
it was 1 year.
It was 1 year. So it's outdated. Well, I think it's a priority.
I was just gonna say that's a priority then.
So, we probably have to do an RFP to find an integrity commissioner. I believe if you asked the county for a list of people to send it to, they just did that.
Okay, county too.
Yeah.
Anything else that sticks out?
The keeping of exotic and non-domestic animals. That fellow was it on 60 Minutes or W5? But I think that's something we should look at, because once you run into the situation,
Yeah, no, you want to stay in front of it.
Yeah.
Well, something that should be looked at for sure. I was looking at that as well. And then maybe the other high flyer that we should look at. Just because the dump sites are important, like waste management, right? Just make sure that everything's good with waste management. If you're kind of prioritizing.
Just to give us an idea of where.
Yeah, what you look at, yeah.
The building bylaw where we have our rate, permits is something that really should be looked at.
Should we wait till we get a building and then see it out? And then they could be involved in it.
Definitely.
Anyone else see anything that jumps out at them? Staff have any recommendations of issues that they need?
Everything pretty good with the fire department, emergency, non-emergency, is that pretty good?
You will see the new established regular bylaw replace.
Yeah, okay.
This one, it was our, I think the council in the previous term, but we never given final reading, so it's.
That's the only other one I was thinking about.
And a lot of the newer ones may not change at all, but they.
Yeah, just
they
review it at
deserve
some point.
To be reviewed.
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion on that? No.
No?
Should be good.
Okay, could I call for the vote then? All those in favor?
Yes.
Passed. Okay, now correspondence. That we, the council of the corporation, the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan hereby accept the correspondence as circulated. Could I get a mover for that resolution, please? Okay. Moved by Councilor Caldwell, seconded by Councilor Quad. Any discussion? Anything anyone wants pulled out for discussion?
Not for me at this time.
Okay, could I call for the vote on that? All those in favor?
Yes.
Okay, new business. We have a shoreline roll-around application that council of the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan hereby approves the draft survey as percentage of the shoreline roll-arounds purchased by Terrence and Leonard Conclude. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councilor Keller, seconded by Councilor Crawford. Any discussion? So that's continuing down.
So through the mayor, it was already brought to council before at the application stage. Approved it tentatively, and now they're providing the draft. It's the same as what they presented originally. And if you approve this, then they will go ahead and get the survey registered.
Any discussion? None of my part. Okay, can I call for the vote on that? All those in favor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Motion carried. Resolution that council of the corporation, the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan authorize the donation of $360.47 includes taxes to the National Wall of Remembrance Association for a business card size advertisement. I believe we have supported this in the past. Can I get a mover on that, please? Councilor Caldwell, seconded by Councilor Quad. Any discussion?
No?
I'll call for the vote. All those in favor?
Yes.
Motion carried. We have a resolution of the council of the corporation of the township of Brunel, Lindau, and Raglan hereby amend Schedule B to the procedural bylaw 2022-03 to include the acknowledgement of the traditional territory of the Algonquin people prior to the call to order. Would you like me to read the acknowledgement?
Sure.
As we gather this evening, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this council and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and to express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. This is something that started with the county of Brantford when I guess it was an understanding with the traditional people that in recognition that they would recite this and I would say that pretty well 90%. Pretty well 100% of the municipalities in Redford County do recite this before their meeting, so is there? I guess I need a motion, a mover. Could I get a mover for it? Councillor Quad, seconded by Councillor Keller. Any discussion?
No,
Should be good.
Okay, can I call for the vote, please? All those in favor?
yes,
Okay, motion carried. Thank you for that. Resolution, the council, the corporation, the township of Brunel and Dr. Ragland accept this report as information only. It's the report from Eon. Can I get a mover for that, please? Councillor Caldwell, seconded by Councillor Quad. Any discussion? Yes.
Madam Mayor, no real discussion, but I know looking at the information provided to us, I see within Renfrew County, new towers anticipated to be constructed, of course, is 47, so. I know a number of them are, you know, people always ask how many in every municipality, I know there are a number, and that the Eon Solgat project runs till 2025, I believe,
Yeah.
so.
And I know they're working on getting the title cleaned up to the land where the money is to go.
Okay.
And because it, you know, what happened there.
Yeah.
So they are working at it, it's just none of them completed at this point.
Yeah.
But as you can see in our county, they have upgraded these 22 existing towers.
Yeah.
We will keep pushing at them. Okay, and we have. You don't have a resolution for this next one?
No, any council direction on that.
Okay. Request from Bradley Law. And we'll let Tammy speak to that.
Okay, so in 2021, you'll see the original request letter. And then there was a staff report provided and a reply from the township. And they were coming back again to re-request with new council. You want to bring up the request letter, January 17th? Their councils wants to change their original decision, or if they would like to stay their decision of December 21st, 21.
What is council's thoughts on this?
well, how much would it affect us if we did give him the right? Like, for ditching purposes, would we be hitting his septic tank or a septic system at all?
I don't know anything about this situation.
Oh, okay. I think they also said about, service lines or something like that, you know. When they said that, did they mean like underwater, piping under the ground? They seen it in there someplace.
Yeah, they were referring to like utility. poles.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
That the septic wouldn't infringe on any ditching or.
That's right, like, I mean, if it's not, I mean, they did it for one, why not do it for the other? I mean, if it's not going to interfere, it's not going to interfere. If it's going to interfere, then I say we have a problem. I know they gave a site plan there of, where the house was and everything. Yeah, exactly where it was.
So I guess when I look at the original.
It's right there,
response-
yeah. Can you enlarge that? See where his tile bed is? Now, how close is the ditch to that tile bed? Because that's what they're talking about, right?
What was our response? I'm trying to find our
So
response
it's,
here.
original staff report. It's the third and fourth thing. And then with the fourth one, the analysis. We did get an analysis of why we shouldn't transfer.
We did?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was because of, like, for future of, ditching and underground services and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I
like,
thought the school was mentioned in that too.
Yeah, it was.
Sight lines, maybe impacted. And it sounds like when he takes ownership, he also accepts a liability.
yeah. But how far is that tile bed from the school property?
Well, that you don't have to worry about, it's the fact that when you convey the full. I guess if you convey the full road less,
It would be the whole,
so then
because
you wouldn't be able to do anything with it. The township.
Is there really any risk to the landowner?
Well, in the one letter that the reply that council got, it said.
Like it's been there since.
Yeah.
Forever, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that said, there, at that time, staff had prepared a report that, there are ways to accommodate his requests, such as an easement or a lease. At the same time, I guess if he can't get the tile bed and the septic onto his, he can't apply for a severance, right? That's,
To get to sever that property off of the larger piece of land,
yeah.
so he's asking for what, 10 feet
I don't know if it's 10 feet or the whole.
or 10 meters?
The 33.
that might be meters, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, as I see that.
10.06 meters or 33 feet.
Yeah.
Is what they're requesting.
So would it be possible to,
Well, you give away any access to ditching or anything.
That's right.
so would it be possible to convey or give them an easement or a lease to the amount
For what it occupies.
for what it occupies?
Oh,
Would
yeah.
that be an option?
Now, they say that the edge of the asphalt road identified on the survey is about 30 feet south of Park Street.
But if you give them an easement, then they have the legal right to
Yeah.
use it,
Exactly.
and we're not giving up ownership of it, because
I mean,
allowances like that for a reason.
the bigger, I guess the bigger thing is. If you really had to, if you're the owner of the property, you just move the tile bed around the corner over to where your tank is, if you don't own that land. If you're trying to sever, it's just the bed, right, it's just the bed itself that they're.
That's the way you talk, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the time.
I've always been very cautious to close
Road.
a road allowance,
Oh, yeah.
unless it's like
Especially
a
on-
shoreline road.
The shoreline's a bit different, this is.
But this is-
This is a road that they use all the time.
And this is a concession too, it's
Yeah.
not a proven line. I think we should refer it to Mr. Ivy. That would be my opinion,
You could get his input at least.
yeah.
And is the intent, is the intent to sever that, is that what,
I believe so, that's what they're implying.
okay.
Well, why can't we wait until spring, until the snow is gone and have, the road super look at it?
Well, I mean, it's all way down.
Yeah, but I mean exactly where that tile bed is, how far, if it does go into the ditching and stuff like that.
You wouldn't be able to know for sure unless you've done something.
I think first
Yeah.
council wants to be sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Transferring anything.
Oh, yeah.
I know the legal opinion or
And
possibly the legal opinion and maybe even other options.
yeah,
Yeah,
what about an option of a lease, and if it has to be replaced,
he has
then
to
it be
move it,
relocated?
yeah.
You know, so as long as it's in use, you
Existing.
can legally,
Yeah,
but if it needs to be replaced, then it be replaced on their property.
So it's not grandfathered.
Yeah,
I agree.
but yeah,
So,
if there's something that allows us to keep the road allowance and just to make it work for them until the time that has to be.
yeah, exactly.
cause we don't know what's in behind and what people would have plans in there for
Mhm.
in 50 years from now. I mean,
True.
we need to look at the future as well.
And one of the things that would be extremely important is at the time of the application for severance, that there's land to accommodate that.
Yeah, like we don't know what the land is behind there,
No, but I mean,
but yeah,
if we're thinking of a severance, just to make sure that there's property, like off to the, looks like there's land up by where the tank is, right?
You won't be
Where the tank is.
severing what?
Severing this part,
Why?
because it's already blocked out.
Oh, is that, well, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, it's the land behind it.
In here.
Okay, so-
Not going to school right beside it, right?
okay, so we'll refer it off to our solicitor for his comment.
Yeah,
On to the library contracts. We have a resolution that we, the council of the township of Brunel and Dock and Raglan here approve both Madawaska and Killaloe public library contracts. Can I get a number on that, please? Councilor Gotthard, seconded by Councilor Banks. Any discussion? See the staff report.